Parents, are you already fed up with proclamations such as non-vaccination or vaccination will mean a certain death for the child and the whole family? If you are, you will enjoy and also learn about vaccination in this new video by Jana Martincová. But don't forget, you can call me Jane. I'm an excited medical educator from the Czech Republic. Hello, how are you today? And now for vaccination. Is this a common situation where you live?
Should I vaccinate little Stevie?
Do you really not trust vaccination? What are you? An irresponsible eco-mother?
Are you crazy? Do you really want to have that chemical cocktail stepped into his body? Such irresponsibility!
This is a real dilemma. How to decide? To vaccinate Stevie or not? Do you know how the whole vaccination story started? The beginning was a weighty matter, as weighty as cow. If you don't believe me, then meet my bovine friend Susan and listen to the story.
What you can see in the picture is what people in the 18th century, infected with smallpox, had all over their bodies, especially all over their faces, and even inside them, the respiratory, digestive, and genital tract. Mortality was up to 50%. It is said that more people died because of it than in all wars ever. It killed 500 million people in the 20th century alone, and countless more were left disfigured. Should scientists really stand idly by? Would you really like it if vaccination had not eradicated the disease in the late 1980s? And you, as parents, would have to experience what many parents have before you? Take, for example, the first empress of the Habsburg Dominions, Maria Theresa. 3 of her 16 children died of smallpox, 1 son and 2 daughters, and her most beautiful daughter, Maria Elizabeth, lost her beauty at the age of 24 due to a severe form of the same disease. It wasn't until 16 years after Maria Theresa's death that the British country doctor Edward Jenner noticed that people who get cowpox usually do not develop smallpox afterwards, or only go through a mild form of the disease. He performed an experiment on an 8-year-old boy. He first infected him with the cowpox virus, and after a mild course of the disease with fever and subsequent recovery, he tried to infect him with the smallpox virus. Lo and behold, the disease didn't break out. The boy's body developed immunity against this genetically related group of viruses when it encountered the cowpox virus.
And that's how the term vaccine was born, from the Latin word vacca, which means cow. By the way, would any parent today allow a doctor to experiment on their child like this? And now, what happened next with vaccination?
For example, smallpox. The mortality rate was from 1 to 5%, so when 1 million people became infected, 10,000 to 50,000 of them died. The Czech epidemiologist Professor Raška played a significant role in the eradication of the disease by 1978. Another one, cerebral palsy, another Czech plus. Czechoslovakia was the first country in the world to completely eradicate the disease in 1961, only 1 year after the start of live vaccination. Then vaccination started against measles, rubella, diphtheria, tetanus, and others. In the case of tetanus, it was not a pretty sight to see the infected people. The neurotoxin, which is produced by, in appearance, a beautiful rumba-shaped bacterium called Clostridium tetani, blocks the conduction of stimuli in nerves. That results in increased muscle tension and very painful cramps. The respiratory muscles are also gradually affected, so the patient suffocates in full consciousness. No one can describe the horror of death these people are experiencing. Knowing that, it is unbelievable what situations doctors encounter in surgeries.
Today is the day for Mary's vaccinations against tetanus, diphtheria, and whooping cough, right?
No, doctor. Me and my husband want Mary to go through these diseases naturally. We read on the internet that when children experience these diseases naturally, it's better for them than vaccinations.
What a strong story. How does vaccination protect us? The first way of protection is direct immune response in our body.
The vaccine seems like a germ to our immune system, but in reality, it is only a small part of a virus or bacterium, usually not even alive. It provokes our immune system, which is fooled by its looks, and calls all its components to fight the vaccine as if it were a real germ. In addition, the immune system remembers the invader well, and the next time it encounters any part of it, it will recognize it and react in exactly the same way, even faster. That is, even when meeting the whole real and living germ, it does not give it a chance to multiply in the body and cause the disease.
The second method of protection is thanks to the immunity of others in the population.
Johnny, are you going to get vaccinated just by yourself? Where's your twin sister, Annie?
Sadly, my sister got diagnosed with some sort of serious disease and can't get vaccinated because of it. That's why me, my father, mother, grandmother and grandfather came to our doctors. The whole family is getting vaccinated to protect Annie.
What also protects some of us is that most of society is vaccinated, and the virus or bacteria have no chance of reaching the non-vaccinated minority. It will get destroyed by the immune system of the first vaccinated person it meets. Therefore, even people who have not developed sufficient immunity or cannot be vaccinated are protected by others in the society.
When to vaccinate?
Petra, don't forget the right timing of the shot. Timing.
Sure, I'll give it my best as I breathe out, just as we practiced.
In vaccination, the correct timing is also important. It should be done at the age where children are most likely to get the severest form of the disease, which the vaccine is designed to combat.
Doctor, we don't want to have that pneumonia vaccine with the 6-in-1 vaccine at the same time. We will leave one of them until after his first year.
As you wish, but infants are significantly more likely to have a serious general infection. We don't have to vaccinate him today at the same time as the 6-in-1, but in 14 days.
Do you think there's a high chance of catching the disease now?
Infection cannot be excluded. Unfortunately, the probability for little Wenceslav was 100%. He got ill with pneumococcal meningitis at 5 months of age. His family spent almost a month visiting and staying with him in a hospital, including an operation. The disease was followed by almost every complication imaginable. Miraculously, little Wenceslav escaped the disease without any lasting consequences. Unfortunately, the other sick children were not so lucky. The parents gradually found out that the child couldn't hear after the disease or had other lifelong consequences. The little Wenceslav full story is on babyonline.cz.
To balance our topic about vaccination, we need to ask, why do something with possible risks? Because vaccination doesn't just help people not catch diseases, but may cause adverse reactions. See again a typical situation from the pediatrician's surgeries.
But doctor, my neighbor told me that her little Ellie had a fever and spent the whole night crying after the vaccination. Why should I experiment on my child with something that has such risks? Also, if other children are vaccinated, we can then remain unvaccinated and still be protected.
Vaccination has risks like any other human activity. Just as before boarding a plane you consider whether it's worth it and weigh up the benefits and risks on the imaginary weighing pans, the same goes for vaccination. The vaccine elicits a disease-like immune response, of course of lesser intensity. If it does not elicit a reaction, it may not be effective. And if you hope for collective immunity, I wouldn't rely too much on that nowadays. Many mothers in your area can have an influencer, just like that neighbour, and they may also listen to their advice.
Dear moms and dads, dear parents, you've just heard about the history of vaccination, methods of protection, the timing of vaccination and possible risks. The final decision is up to you. Individually, your judgment, your child, and the specific vaccine. Please use your own brain the best you can. Your brainy neighbors and friends will never be as smart as you when it comes to your own child. Surely, we can agree on that, can't we? That's all for today. And don't forget to write to us with your opinion on vaccination. See you and bye for now. Susan, cow, say goodbye forever. And what about hasta la vista? Maybe the next time.